Welcome everyone to Faces and Heels, the podcast for pro wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. And this is the reaction and review of WWE's Night of Champions, which took place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Uh, Even though the event is called Night of Champions, it happened in the middle of the day on Saturday. And, you know, due to the time difference and all that there, it was night in Saudi Arabia. So I guess it still counts. But man, look, I came into this kind of skeptical. I haven't been a big fan of the Saudi shows. Uh, Crown Jewels and the greatest, biggest battle royal or whatever Royal Rumble they had there and all this. It's been hit and miss, more misses than hits when it comes to the Saudi shows. The way I describe the premium live events that take place in Saudi Arabia, they're like glorified house shows. These are there's really no storylines going into those events. Sometimes you'll catch a storyline here or there when it involves let's just say the Universal Championship or the Undisputed Championships and stuff like that, but nothing really that drives storylines forward. At least that I got. Because you got that horrible Goldberg and Undertaker match that took place in Saudi Arabia. I mean, horrible. And you had that tag team match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane, which was probably the most embarrassing match you ever want to witness in pro wrestling. It was so bad. And then you add the controversy surrounding Saudi Arabia with the politics involved in it and all that there. It hasn't been well received in past outings there. But this go around at Night of Champions that took place on May the 27th on Peacock, it was an awesome pay-per-view or a premium live event, should I say. I really, really enjoyed this show. Every single match was good. I wasn't mad at none of it. You had 7 matches, all 7 involved a championship. Well, 5 out of the 7. But the 2 that didn't involve championships still had championship pedigree with it. They were some awesome matches. Except for that squash match that we're going to get to. Uh, I mean, that last match lasted, what, a minute? The women's SmackDown Women's Championship match, that was a squash. But even with that, I still liked it. I still like the match. Um, let's jump off. We know that going into this premium live event that we had an inaugural World Heavyweight Championship to crown, and there's been some mixed reviews surrounding the new World Heavyweight Championship, and I understand both sides of the argument. I understand those who oppose it because what's the point of it? You have Roman Reigns as the undisputed Universal WWE Universal Champion, and why would you just create one because nobody can beat him? Because that's basically why they created this championship, because nobody has beaten Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has went through everybody. As a matter of fact, this is his 1,000th day, 1,000 days as champion. He hasn't been pinned since 2019. So your remedy to that is create a championship. Just so somebody else can have gold. I understand that argument. But I also see those who champion this because if Roman Reigns is going to be on SmackDown, I mean, there's no champion on Raw. And so you need some type of champion on Raw. Uh, uh, the Intercontinental Championship notwithstanding, you need a world championship. And we had a tournament that led to this match tonight. The tournament started on Raw, where you had two triple threat matches. Uh, Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, where Seth Rollins won that. And you had another triple threat match between Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, and The Miz, where Finn Balor won that match, giving us Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor to see who would reach the finals. And Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor, putting him in this match. Over on SmackDown, you had two triple threat matches as well. AJ Styles versus Edge versus Rey Mysterio. AJ Styles won that. And Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. Bobby Lashley won that match. AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley. And we got AJ Styles coming off victorious, meaning in tonight's Night of Champions finals for the World Heavyweight Championship, you have Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles, and that was the match that kicked off Night of Champions. What a way to kick off the show. I wasn't expecting this to be the first match of the night, but since Triple H has taken over, you notice that the first match is always the banger. There's always the tone setter. You can go back to NXT when he was over NXT. That's how the takeover premium live events always had. They always had the banger match first, and it set the tone for the rest of the night. And this was no exception. AJ Styles and Seth Rollins are probably the two best workers in WWE, if not all of pro wrestling, to be honest with you. And I was looking forward to this match. They put on a show. It started off pretty slow. It was kind of slow, but once it got going, once they started figuring each other out, you have to put into account that AJ Styles has been out a while. He's been out for about 4 months. And this is his first time in Saudi Arabia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, for political and I think religious reasons, but he came and put on a show. They put on a show, some real awesome spots, real good selling. But in the end, we got a new World Heavyweight Champion, and it is none other than Seth freaking Rollins, first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion. A really good match, and it really did set the tone for the rest of the premium live event. Had fun with it. It was, even though it was a no-brainer, everybody in their mall knew that Seth Rollins was going to win. Even before the tournament started, everybody knew, oh, this is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going to be crowned the champ, and it happened. But despite all that, real good. I enjoyed it. Seth Rollins defeating AJ Styles to become the first ever World Heavyweight Champion gets 4 stars. I thought it was an awesome match. Really, really good match. It was a main event caliber match that they put together. Next up, we have a singles match. No championships involved, but we have a Hall of Famer going up against a soon-to-be Hall of Famer, where Becky Lynch takes on Trish Stratus. And this was one that I wasn't super excited for, but I was surprised. It was really good. Trish Stratus still got it. She still got it. And heel Trish Stratus is the best Trish Stratus, if anybody remembers from the old days. It sounds crazy saying that, but when during the Attitude Era, when she was the heel manager for, I think, TNA, not the organization, but the tag team, and heel Trish Stratus was a beast. I'm happy to see her as a heel. It didn't disappoint in this match. Becky Lynch in her Kill Bill outfit was was pretty good. Nice back and forth between the two. They worked the ring. They sold. They some really good spots. A couple of botches there where it looked like they were trying to get to a spot. They knew like, oh, we got to hit this right here. You could tell they were working it out. But overall, real good match, and it was with the help of Zoe Stark. Trish Stratus comes out victorious over Becky Lynch, and it was good to see Zoe Stark make a impact. I watched her in NXT, excited when they drafted her on the main roster. Wanted to see what type of push she would get, and this is an impact here. This is a real good impact, and she's a real good worker. So if her and Becky Lynch are going to feud, and if Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus are joining forces, that's even more exciting. So a lot more lays ahead in this storyline, but this was a good match, decent match. Wasn't a banger, but it was entertaining. Trish Stratus defeating Becky Lynch gets 3 stars. It was a decent match, uh, worthy to be on the show, and real good storytelling in the ring. So that was that. Next up, in our third match of the evening, we have a WWE Intercontinental Championship match where the champion Gunther takes on Mustafa Ali. And I'm a big fan of Mustafa Ali. I really want him to succeed. You know what I'm saying? This goes back to a couple of years ago. Y'all remember Kofi Mania when Kofi Kingston went on this epic run to become the WWE champion at WrestleMania? Oh man, tears flying, the jubilation that he finally won that championship. You know what I'm saying? Kofi Kingston, little Kofi Kingston, used to come out as little Jamaican, you know, to get that championship. Well, that wasn't our regularly scheduled program. Initially, that was supposed to be the run for Mustafa Ali, but he got hurt. And oddly enough, the one who hurt him was Kofi Kingston in a match, but it wasn't malicious or nothing. It happens. But he got hurt, and his push was pushed off, and he never got back to that point, and he hasn't been back yet. And this is the closest we've gotten to a big push for him, and it came in form of a battle royal that he won on Raw a couple of weeks ago, where he earned the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship at Night of Champions. And I wasn't expecting him to win this match. I really nobody in their right mind expected him to win this match, but you were expecting him to put on a show. And Gunther can work with anybody, and he has proven time and time again that he can work with any style, any wrestler. Gunther is probably one of the best wrestlers in the company right now, honest to God. Uh, I'm a huge fan of Gunther. But overall, it was a good match. It wasn't a great match. It was decent. Gunther retains his Intercontinental Championship by defeating Mustafa Ali. This match gets 3 stars. Decent match. Uh, it was good to see Ali get a couple of good spots in there. A couple of near falls, even. You know what I'm saying? It was close. It wasn't a squash, but it was entertaining. It gets 3 stars. Our fourth match of the night is for the Raw Women's Championship, where our champion Bianca Belair takes on Asuka for said championship. And this is a WrestleMania rematch. Of course, uh, Asuka fell short. Bianca Belair retained her championship. Asuka has been on this new heel run, and I've been loving it. I've been loving Asuka since NXT. I didn't watch any of her work in Japan, but her in NXT, where she was undefeated, by the way, uh, was an epic run. And when she got to the main roster, up until WrestleMania, when she lost to Charlotte Flair, she was still on that run. But after that WrestleMania, when she lost to Charlotte Flair, she has been going down. And I remember that because I was at that WrestleMania that was here in New Orleans, and it hasn't. She hasn't gotten back to that spot. Yeah, she won the championship. Well, she won Money in the Bank, and she got the championship because Becky Lynch had to relinquish it due to her pregnancy. But other than that, she hasn't done anything. Tag team championships, yeah. But nothing else, man. It's really been kind of a lackluster run for the past 2 years. So I was scared that the young lady was going to leave. She was putting cryptic messages on Twitter. It looks like she was about to, you know, it just seems like she was frustrated with creative and all this here. But yet and still, every time she came out and she put on a show. And this was no exception. Her and Bianca Belair, I can watch them fight forever. This was a decent match. You could tell that the crowd was completely with Oscar. I think the Bianca Belair run has kind of staled. I think a lot of people are kind of tired of Bianca Belair as champion. It comes to a point where sometimes it's good to be the hunter and instead of the hunted. And I would like to see her as the hunter. She's been great as champ, but unfortunately, it comes to an end tonight. Asuka defeats Bianca Belair to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Um, with some kind of you know, shenanigans. She used the mist. Well, she tried to use the mist earlier. She missed, but she wore up some of the mist on her fingers and rubbed when Bianca Belair was gonna KO Dia. She rubbed the mist in her eyes, causing her to drop her, and she super kicked her to death. So that was that. And Oscar is now the champion, which it makes sense because Bianca Belair was drafted to SmackDown, and her as the Raw Women's Champion, it didn't. I didn't understand how that was going to work, but there it is. But I think Oscar is on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess they're going to switch. I guess they. I guess. I don't know what they're gonna do. But speaking of SmackDown, our next match was the SmackDown Women's Championship, where the SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, who is on Raw, by the way, takes on Natalya. Um, it's not much I can say about this match other than the fact it was a squash. This match was 1 minute and 10 seconds long. This was a squash. Natalia flew halfway across the world to not get one punch in, not one sign of offense from her. Poor, poor Natalia. Yeah. But it was all in the efforts to make Rhea look strong. Stronger than what she already looks, but she just completely demolished Natalia. It was a little help from Dominic, but overall, it was just whatever. I didn't give my stars for for the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair losing her championship to Asuka, gets 3.5 stars. Good match. But okay, moving on to this match, this SmackDown Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley defeats Natalya to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. Despite the fact I liked it, I liked what they did. It was like whatever. What was the point of this? This was really pointless. Uh, this match gets 2.5 stars. It wasn't a match, and I'm being nice with the 2.5. The only reason I'm giving it 2.5 is because I found it funny. I just thought it was really funny. But whatever. And then it was booked as one of the main events. That wasn't. Every match before that was more entertaining than that. So whatever. So we move on to our sixth match of the night. And this is a singles match. This is basically a fight. And this is the rematch between Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. They fought a few weeks ago in Puerto Rico, where Cody Rhodes came out victorious. This go around wasn't so lucky. This was a very brutal match. It was a well fought contest, man. I mean, Cody Rhodes put on a show. He showed his toughness, and that's been one of the joys of watching Cody Rhodes since he returned to WWE. His toughness, this run that he's on, tearing the pec and still going in Hell in a Cell and taking on taking on Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell with a torn pec and putting on a show, man. I mean, you have to tip your hat to Cody. And getting in the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, giving Roman Reigns the fight of his life at WrestleMania, only to lose due to shenanigans as well. And I really enjoyed this run from Cody. I really have. I am a big fan of Cody Rhodes. I really am. I've been on board with this run, but I'm really loving Cody. I'm really loving the story he is telling, man. This is epic. And to take everybody back a little bit, in case you don't know, on Raw, Cody and Brock Lesnar got into it several times after the Puerto Rico match, to the point where Brock Lesnar broke Cody Rhodes' arm, quote unquote. And he wrestled this match basically with one arm tied behind his back against Brock Lesnar. and the commentator said, you don't want to get in the ring with Brock Lesnar with two good arms. And so getting in there with just one, you're an insane person. And Cody did it. And he sold it, man. But he just came up short. But he did not tap. He did not tap and did not get pinned. It was a technical submission. He passed out when Brock put him in a Kimura lock. So Brock Lesnar defeats Cody Rhodes by submission, and this match gets 3.5 stars. Really good match, really entertaining, and I like this story. I do. I like this. I love what they're doing. If you're gonna not give Cody Rhodes, well, I shouldn't say give, but if Cody Rhodes is not going to win the championship at WrestleMania, you have to put him in some type of feud. If you're going to keep him away from this title run right now, put him in something of merit. And the Brock Lesnar run is great. This program is working. It kind of takes your mind off of the championship for Cody, finishing the story. So this is really good storytelling here. As much as I was really upset that he did not win the championship at WrestleMania, I'm enjoying this story. So kudos to Triple H and the creative team over there at WWE. All right, our main event of the evening, and this is wow. This is how powerful the Bloodline storyline is the Bloodline has main evented every premium live event in recent history since the formation of this faction in one way or another. They have been a part of the storyline, or the main event, should I say. And tag team championships have been main events. Just at WrestleMania with the Usos was a main event. And tag team championships have never been main event things. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a thing. This was a middle of the show thing. You know, bathroom break matches, especially under Vince McMahon. It hasn't. Tag team wrestling has not been top tier or number one priorities in WWE for a while, and for the past couple of years under Triple H, it's gotten better. And here we come to Night of Champions, where the undisputed tag team championships are main eventing this premium live event. Our champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, will take on the Bloodline, which consists of Roman Reigns and Solo, with Paul Heyman at ringside. Oh man, I was starting to get bored with the Bloodline. After WrestleMania, actually a little bit before WrestleMania, when Sami Zayn turned on the Bloodline, I felt that was the end. I felt like, okay, there's nothing else they can tell out of this story, because at this point you want Sami Zayn to dethrone Roman Reigns. Well, he didn't get that accomplished, but after that, you had the Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and it really wasn't nothing. There was some dissension going on, who's still part of it, and blah blah blah, and uh, it just didn't have that same power that it was having for the past year. And I must say, it's back. The Bloodline story is back, and in a major rate. This, bruh, dude, the way this story is going is like mwah, chef's kiss. This is soap opera to the soap opera degree, but I'm loving every minute of it. This is so epic. The storytelling is so epic. The acting, yes, I'm saying acting from these pro wrestlers is insane. And in the midst of all that, you have a match. Now, the match was going on. It was great. You have Sami Zayn, who was another one who has never wrestled in Saudi Arabia because of his religious beliefs. Sami Zayn is Muslim, and he has never made that trip. So with public relations getting better in Saudi Arabia, with I forgot what, and please forgive me, I forgot what country that Sami Zayn is representing. I know he's from Canada, but there's another country, and I cannot remember it right now. I'm having a senior moment. But anyway, the relations are getting better between Saudi Arabia and said nation, and this is allowing Sami Zayn to come, and the reception he received when he came out, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It was amazing. It was amazing. And the match takes place, and it was uproaring. It was exciting. You got the pre-match intros where uh Paul Heyman takes the mic and he introduces the bloodline, and then you have Sami Zayn takes the mic and he starts speaking in Arabic, and it was awesome. Then the match starts. They're putting on a show, and in the midst of that, the Usos pop up, and the Usos pop up in the middle of the match and gets involved with the match. They go to super kick Sami Zayn, or was it Kevin Owens? One of them. He ducks and they super kick Solo, who is their brother, by the way. Super kick him. Roman Reigns gets in the ring. He's mad. He's already been beefing with the Usos, going back and forth with them. All of a sudden, out of the blue, you thinking Jay is going to be the one to turn. Jay was going to be the one to super kick Roman Reigns or punch Roman Reigns or hit Roman Reigns with a chair or something. No, it was Jimmy. Jimmy super kicks Roman. And the breakdown from Jay. Jay is doing God's work, man. Jay sold that sequence of events like a G. He was like, "What did you do? What are you doing?" And Jimmy tells him, like, "I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago," and super kicks him again. I was like, wow. What? Wow. And they get out the ring. At that point, the match, mind you, the match is still going on. Solo gets in the ring. Sammy Owens, I keep saying Sammy every time. They should just change the name to the group. Kevin Owens stuns Solo, and then Sami Zayn Halula kicks him, covers him 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens retain their undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. This was an awesome story. The match was okay. But this story is I don't know, man. I got tears in my eyes thinking about it. I did not see this coming from this faction, from this storyline, from this run with Roman Reigns as the champion. And I must say, this is the best storyline in wrestling, probably since the Mega Powers exploded. I have not seen a storyline this epic in years, if ever. I give the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match, where we saw Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens retain their championship against the Bloodline, 4.5 stars. It was, if the match was a little better, I probably would have gave it 5. But it was, man, what an epic. This is storytelling at its finest. Great pay-per-view. Honestly, great pay-per-view or premium live event. Really looking forward to what's next. And that's the thing. Going into these Saudi shows, I never sat back and said, "What's next?" I wasn't excited for anything coming out of this. But for this particular show, I'm excited for Raw on Monday night. I'm excited for SmackDown on Friday night because I want to see the fallout from this show. Really, really good pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever. It's Night of Champions, man. I give Night of Champions an overall star rating of 4 stars. Did not see it coming. Great show. Great show. Good job from everybody involved. I want to know how you all feel. What you think is next? What's coming next, man? It's has the bloodline exploded, imploded, went away? I'm I, I'm interested to see what's next. I want to see what's next. I also want to see what's next for Seth Rollins as the new heavyweight champion. Who's going to challenge him next? How are we moving on with this Becky Lynch Trish Stratus story? Who's next for Gunther? Who's going to challenge Asuka? Who's going to challenge Rhea Ripley next? Man, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. I want to know what you think. You can email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look me up on Twitter at KB Radio Network and on other social media platforms Just look up the KB Radio Network. Don't forget that we're on YouTube as well. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to this channel, give this video a like. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever it is you're currently listening to Faces and Heels on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this reaction and review of WWE Night of Champions, which took place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for joining me. Can't wait to speak to you again when I forgot when's the next pay-per-view. It doesn't matter, but for the next one, even though tomorrow night, NXT Battleground is on Sunday night, I believe. So you have that, but I don't think I'm gonna review that one. But until the next time, everybody, enjoy your day. That's the bottom line because I said so.